Okay, my name is John McKeeby. I teach Data 670. It's the Capstone class, or the practical for the Data Master's Program, Data Analytics Master's Program. I've taught it 3 times. Each time we evolve it and change it a little bit. I think it's in a firm state right now. It is project-based. I provide 2 formats or templates for you to complete the project. One is kind of a research template. It has different headers. It provides some description of what's desired in each of the sections. And the goal is to provide a scope in the week 2. And then throughout the course, there's deliverables, and we'll talk about them in a second. The second option it uses the CRISP format, which is a format for data mining projects. And so it, too, has a template. There's headers, and each section there's a description. The descriptions for both templates identify how many paragraphs I'm looking for and how many sentences per paragraph. And it does give you samples throughout that you can provide. The goal is that you review the templates and determine which one you want to use. I've had students in the past start with option 1 and really want to use the data mining format, and so they change their format that they're using. And so it varies from each person tries to determine. I'm sorry if you see another screen, I'm just checking something. So it's the CRISP data mining format. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure I got it right. There are assigned teams. So week 1, I will assign teams, but it's not a team project. The teams are for review. And so the goal is week 5 or somewhere around week 5, and is when you will do presentations with your team to review your project. They will review yours. You'll critique them as well. You'll either provide your presentation through some kind of video or a PowerPoint with audio. Some people have used WebEx and recorded it and submitted the link. As long as I see the video, because I'm going to score the presentation just like everything else. So it's not a team project, but the teams are for review. The goal of the the goal of the project is for you to pick anything you want. You can pick something that you learned already in the data analytics program, something that you wanted to kind of review more and get more detail about, or there's 2 options where there's 2 different organizations that you can do projects with. First, the American Institutes of Research. If you're interested in doing a project with them, and we're going to review examples from them, it would be better if you tell me early, because you have to go through their HR to basically sign enough documents so you can have access to their data. Now, NASA can start the first week. I'll hook you up or coordinate a meeting with our contact at NASA, and you can work on a project for NASA. For each organization, I look for about 3 or 4 students. And again, these are individual projects. The sooner you can tell me for the American Institutes, the better. NASA, more lead time is better, but I'm fine if it's when you start the class. So NASA, the 2 projects, and there's more out there, and so the first meeting we can talk about different ideas. It's visualization and understanding of the NASA data universe. So they have a website, like all U.S. government agencies, where they share data. They want to understand the data that they're sharing. And so You can review the data sets and the data and come up with patterns and understanding of what the data sets have. That's one project. The second is summarizing the data concepts in a different way, so it's easier to search, easier to browse, and so again, they're shareable data. You'll have access to it. You have access to it even if you didn't sign up for kind of the NASA intern project. You can access it yourself without having a defined person. But if you do it through NASA, there's somebody there that will mentor you through the process and kind of mentor you on how to be a data analytics professional. And the American Institutes of Research, their projects vary, but the two that they presented last semester are on reading assessment. And so I have one student at NASA and one student working at AIR, and one is about early grade reading assessment. There's two projects that they were looking, and then there was school improvement, and they had 3 projects there. And again, once you identify if you want to work with AIR, then we would coordinate a meeting with our contact there, and then they can go over any new projects or existing projects and give you an idea of what they're looking for. They understand the number of weeks in this course. They kind of understand that, I mean, you're doing this for a grade, but if they get something beneficial out of it, both NASA and AIR, they're better off. So again, the projects or the deliverables, there will be 5 discussions across the 12 weeks. There's a midterm presentation that you'll present with your group. There's a final presentation with your group as well. And there's 5 project deliverables. There's the initial kind of scope document defining what problem you're going to try to tackle as part of your data analytics. And then during the semester, defining that project more, identifying what data analytics techniques you're going to use, what techniques you actually use, what did you find out, and your final results. So there's 5 project deliverables. Again, there's 2 templates, and you get to pick which template you want to use. And so I think this is a very fun class. I consider it as each one of you are kind of doing an independent study in a way, because you're picking the project yourself, your data sets yourself, what data analytics techniques you want to use, and what data visualization tools you want to use. I do provide samples throughout the whole semester showing the different projects that were done in the past. Starting week 1, I give you access to a few presentations so you can see what people presented and get an idea for topics. And then for each deliverable, I provide 2 or 3 samples for previous submitted assignments. It is kind of self-paced in the sense that you'll know the deliverables and the time frame, but when you submit them, I'll grade them. We do have a TA for the class. He helps if you're using R or Python or Tableau, and I'm always available for questions. This semester we had a meeting week 1 to review the templates, and then a meeting like week 4 to review. They're optional meetings. It's just more or less if somebody wanted to ask some questions to get some clarification. The goal is not to get overwhelmed. I don't want you to get overwhelmed. I want you to submit a project that you want to submit and you're kind of proud of, and I'm there to help you work through it. I also want you to learn things that you're curious about that you might not have learned in great detail in the previous courses. So if there's something that you learned in 640 and you really want to learn more about it and you had a really nice data set, then you can learn more about it. I don't want you to submit your 640 project. I want you to expand upon it and take it to a next level and learn more about either the subject or about the techniques used for the data analytics. So now I'm going to open it for questions. Anybody have any questions?
Yes. This is Ayodeji.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Yeah, you kind of said something a little bit about it, but I just want more clarification about the tools. How do we get access to the tools that we use for this project?
So any tools that are open source, you can get them yourself. For SAS DM, I'll provide a license key. For Tableau, I'll provide a license key. I think that's about it. But anything that you need and you've used prior, I will get the license keys for you. So if it's an organization do you have an idea of what tools you want to use?
Not yet. I mean, it depends on what I'm going to do on the data set that I have available.
Okay. Yeah. So I do have SAS DM and I do have Tableau. I think I have links for R, but I'm not positive. I definitely have links and resources for all the tools. Any tool that needs a license key, I have the license key.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions?
This is Chris. Will you be able to send us your presentation or some sort of outline of those specific projects so we can look at it a little more closely and maybe make a decision?
Yeah, I can. I'll share them with Elena. I will provide some samples too, okay, of presentations. And so I'll ask her for, actually I can send to the same list that she sent for this class. I'll send the PowerPoint, and there's no fanciness in it, as you saw. I'll send you the templates as well, and 2 or 3 examples of a presentation. Is that okay?
Sure, yeah. I was curious about the templates are great. I was curious about the 2 projects, or the 2 companies, I should say, and the specific projects they were looking at.
Oh, okay. So I posted, yep, I put everything in the PowerPoint, the description of what they have there. If you want to do if you want to work with AIR or with NASA, I can coordinate a meeting. Just send me good times.
Okay. And have they been pretty responsive in terms of, the one hesitation that I might have would be if the people that are, kind of assigned to work with us, get busy with their own real stuff and are maybe not as available as we would need to
right.
at the time. But that'd be my only concern.
So he's available about 1 day a week, 1 hour a week per student. His Fridays are his best. His core hours are 9:30 to 4. He's available email all the time, but he's available for kind of a Skype session 1 hour a week. Now, Jeffrey from AIR, he'll set you up with actually a company, and my understanding, because we've just done AIR this semester, is they're very responsive.
Oh, so AIR they're sort of like the brokerage firm, for lack of a better word. Like they're the ones.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not for them directly, it's for whatever companies. Got it.
Right. Yeah. I think Jeffrey will provide kind of the linkage, but I'll have to ask Chanel if she worked directly with the company versus Jeffrey. I think she worked directly with the organization which was looking for data analytics.
Okay, great.
For both NASA or AIR, AIR's only been 1 semester, so I have an N of 1. It's very hard to say, but her experience has been positive. For NASA, I've had 3 students, and their experience has been positive.
Awesome. Thank you.
I had one student with NASA that after 2 weeks decided to do something that was more related to his work, and NASA was understanding. NASA is looking for, they're still trying to figure out how to get people access to more data, not just the public view. But right now they're learning, if somebody finds something that's new to them, they're ecstatic. If not, they're okay with it. They understand that it's a student project. Air is similar, but again, my N is 1, and so I still need to kind of get more students working with them before I understand. I think of these projects as experiments in the sense that you might be looking at a data set for a certain thing, and you might find nothing, or your data set needs to be more columns or more attributes, or I know some of your projects might fail. That's part of the project. That's part of data analytics, that you might not reach the goal that you're expecting. I'm fine with that. That's part of data analytics. And so the goal here is to experiment some, learn a lot, relearn some ideas that you've already learned in a practical type of setting. Any other questions?
Hi, this is Tyler. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just had a question about the data sets that you're looking for. Do you have kind of general parameters like number of columns, number of rows? And then I assume if we get anything, if it's proprietary or something like that, we'd have to be open to share it with the class. Is that a good assumption?
Yeah, you do have to open it and share with the class, at least the class. If you don't want me to share it with other people or other classes, I just need to be told that. I've had one student that was fine sharing with his teammates and sharing with me, but didn't want it shared with anybody else, and he wrote a couple papers, and then he was okay with sharing it. So I'll respect anything in that regard. I don't put a set of parameters on how many rows and how many variables. I think I need to start doing that, but you have to pick a data set that you're going to be able to do something with, because you have to answer all the questions in the template. So I've had, 13 variables and 15,000 rows to, 106 variables and 1 million rows. And so the goal is that as long as you answer the components in the template and have enough things to kind of show and justify, you'll be okay. But you are right. I need to kind of come up with a set of minimum parameters.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. A lot of your time is going to, it's going to depend on where you get your data set and what your data set is. But a lot of students spend probably 50% of their time preparing their data set, right? Either making sure their columns are in the right columns, the files linked together, or, clean up data that looks missing, or deleting anomalies. There's a lot of work in preparing your data sets. A lot of students use Python and similar tools to kind of do that step. Any other questions? I have this cold going on, but I'm very positive about this class and what we do. It is somewhat dependent on you, so I don't nag. There are dates when things are due. I accept things being late, but the presentations need to be on time because it depends on your teammates, because they have to review yours and you have to review theirs. Anything else? Well, I look forward to all of you being in the 670, and I know it's your last class, and my goal is that it's one of your best classes. I really like teaching it. I've learned a lot because I've seen a lot of different projects. Okay.
This has been helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Tyler, thank you. I saw it go across my screen, your message, but did you have a question?
No, I was just saying thanks for hosting the session. This was really helpful.
Okay. Okay. And Joe, just send me an email, and this is to anybody that wants to either do NASA or AIR, and then I'll try to coordinate one meeting with all of us versus individual. And so just send me an email so when we get closer, for AIR 2 weeks before NASA, it'll probably be the week before class starts. So send me dates and times that are good.
Could you share your email address again? I think I might have it, but just in case.
I think it's in the meeting invitation that she sent.
Oh, okay. Okay, no worries.
I mean, I can look, but, you know,
No,
I think it's jmckeeby@umuc.edu, to be honest. John, and I spell it without an H. That's how my mother spelt it. I'm not a son or a O-thun. It's Jon, period, mckeeby@faculty.umuc.edu. So John, Jon, period, McKeeby, McKeeby, @faculty.umuc.edu.
Perfect, thank you.
And my goal is probably Friday or by Friday, I'll send an email to everybody with the templates and some of the samples and the PowerPoint slides.
Okay, and I'm going to apologize. I'd rather ask now than later, but you said send you meeting, like, dates and times that are good for meeting.
If you want to meet with the person from AIR or the person from NASA, if you're interested in either of those projects.
And time frame over between, like, starting now or starting at the very beginning of the
starting
class?
now until the first week.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yep. It'll probably be closer to the 2 weeks before the class start for either one of those. Anything else? Any other questions? Well, I look forward to all of you, and I will send you some information by Friday. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
For 5 minutes, I should say.